No one expected you to be this cold. You? Cold? They never saw it coming. Not the ones who laughed behind your back. Not the ones who used your silence like a carpet to wipe their lives clean. They thought you stay warm, soft, and forgiving. They thought you'd be the same person who smiled while bleeding, who stayed even when they slammed the door on your face. You were the giver, the listener, the one who checked in, the one who always cared, who always waited, and they took it all, every part of you, piece by piece, until something inside you froze. Now look at you, quiet, distant, in control. They say you've changed, but you didn't. You simply woke up. You didn't lose your kindness. You just learned where to stop wasting it. You didn't become evil. You became aware. You didn't grow cold out of nowhere. You learned from fire. The same fire they lit when they burnt you behind your back. You kept showing up for people who left you out in the rain. And now, you don't even flinch when they call your name. Because you froze, and you froze for a damn reason. You see, that's the part they don't get. People always expect the ones who care to stay soft forever. They think the loyal one can be stretched, pushed, and broken, and somehow still returns with a smile. But every soul has a threshold, and once that line gets crossed, silence becomes deadly. You stop chasing, stop proving, stop talking. You shock them because your silence has become your boundary, your shield, and distance, that's your power. Funny, isn't it? Your absence screams louder than your presence ever did. See, being warm didn't get you respect. Being cold did. You were honest, deep, present, and they were shallow, temporary, and full of illusion. And you kept forgiving, hoping, rebuilding until there was nothing left but ashes. That's when you said no more. That's when the smile faded. That's when your soul went quiet. You weren't weak. You were patient. And even patience turns its back when it's fed nothing but betrayal. Now you walk differently. Now your eyes scan the rooms like you are reading every hidden intention. You hear what's not being said, and you feel the energy shift when your name is mentioned. You no longer move based on emotions or calculations. They thought you were cold because you stopped talking. But the truth is, you stopped explaining. You stopped repeating the same thing. You stopped justifying your worth. You got tired of showing loyalty to people who had exit strategies behind every smile. So now you don't respond, you don't engage, and you don't react. That's silence, and that silence is your boundary. That's your power, and it kills them. You know what I call that? Justice. Because sometimes the only revenge that works is not being who they remember anymore, not being the one they can manipulate, not being the one who melts under guilt. Now you burn through guilt, you cut through manipulation with a stare, and you shatter comfort with your absence. And if that's what being cold looks like, then freeze the whole damn world. You know what's funny? The same people who made you feel like nothing, now they act confused when you treat them like nothing. That's the twist, isn't it? When you were warm, they thought you were weak. Now that you are cold, they call you heartless. They always want the benefit of your presence, but without the burden of your boundaries. They want your kindness, but without your conditions, your time without commitment, your attention without effort. But you owe them nothing. No energy, no replies, no second chances. And they are stunned because you have finally learned how to close the gates When you were soft, they laughed. When you turned cold, they panicked. That's the rule of the game. People don't respect what's always available. They respect what disappears. You don't need to fight. You don't need to argue. You don't need to beg. Just walk away and let the silence rot their comfort. You were the sun they took for granted until winter came. You were the safe place they only realized after they stood alone. They only valued after losing you. They expected you to beg, to explain, to crawl back. They were waiting for the apology you never owed them. They were prepared for your voice, but not your silence. They wanted to feel superior, like they broke you, like they still had access. But instead, you disappeared, you vanished, you went ghost. And now, they whisper, they wonder, and they regret because the person who once cared deeply became a stranger with no emotions in her eyes, who doesn't need closure, who doesn't need revenge, just distance. And that silence unsettled them. It terrified them. You became a stranger, calm, unreadable, untouchable, not heartless, just healed, not emotionless, just exhausted. People call it being cold, but I call it survival, because coldness isn't a choice, it's a consequence. You didn't just wake up one morning and say, oh, let me be emotionless. Nah. You bled into that silence. You crawled through nights that chewed up your heart. You watched the people you take a bullet for hand you over to a firing squad with a smile. And every time you forgave them, you lost a piece of yourself until one day there was nothing left to give. And when that version of you, the soft one, the open one, the available one, the giving one, finally died quietly, a new one rose, the one who doesn't flinch, who doesn't chase, who doesn't explain, who doesn't care, who walks away because it's been left too many times to care anymore. That's the part they will never admit. Now you only respond to respect. No more chasing closure. No more bleeding for people who clapped when you fail. So let them call you cold. Let them misunderstand you, because coldness is just self-respect in winter clothing. It's kindness that grew tired. It's love that learned to read the warning signs. Love that finally learned the assignments. You are not heartless. You've just seen too much now. You see behind the apologies. You see the way they only come back when it benefits them. And you learned the hard way that being needed isn't the same as being valued. That attention isn't affection, and presence isn't loyalty. So now you wait, you observe, you move with purpose, with intention, and anyone who asks why you are distant, you simply smirk, because anyone who needs a reason to be treated right was never real to begin with. You are not cold, you are just preserved and protecting what's left. Thanks for watching this video. See you in my next video. Bye.